What's up, guys? This is
Yeah, sure.
episode 15 of Young Lifters Talk, and we're here with. Introduce yourself.
Eleni Guerrera.
Tell us a bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into powerlifting, and like your accolades, just what you've done in the sport, where you're from,
Okay, so
all of
I'm
that.
from Arlington. I'm from Arlington, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. So, I've lived here my whole life. I've been powerlifting since the year of 2022. I started training in 2021, but I started competing in the spring of 2022.
Mm.
I started in USAPL, which is very common for all of the United States lifters, which is before Powerlifting America became part of the IPF. And I did a few local meets. I fell in love with the sport pretty much instantly, but I had signed up just as a girl that went to the gym. I hardly even trained squat, bench, and deadlift, honestly.
Mm.
I just went to the gym, and then powerlifting was cool, so I decided to do that. And then with that, I heard about people going to the international stage, and I thought, oh wow, that's really, really cool. How do I get into that? At this point, I didn't even have a coach still. I was just doing whatever. So I went to Powerlifting America Nationals in 2023, which was April of last year, so around this time
Yeah.
of
All
last
right.
year. And I won first place there for my weight class and age
What
division.
numbers did you hit, and what weight class are we talking about? Like, give some more
Um,
context.
Sorry. I'm in the 57 kilo weight class, and I'm a sub junior. So I want to say my squat was 137 and a half.
Mm.
My bench was 70, and my deadlift was 167 and a half.
All right. All right.
Cool.
So with that, I won with I think that was like a 375 kilo total.
All right.
So from there, I got invited to the U.S. Worlds team for Worlds in Romania last
Yeah.
year.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, I finally got a coach.
Damn. Wait. So you
I'm
waited till you were already going to Worlds?
Yeah, I got a coach after I qualified. Like I started being coached in June of 2023. And I'm
Yeah.
coached by Vincent Mangione, who's
Oh
the
yeah.
coach
Yeah.
who's the coach of the
Yeah.
powerlifting team, but people often know him as like Joy's coach or Mustache Man. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the mustache. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit. So you was there like anything more like specific that got you like to be like, I'm gonna go from just like training in the gym to like, I'm gonna actually go powerlifting, compete and stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I started going to the gym because like as a female and as a girl that in 2020 and 2021 I was very insecure with my own body and I had nothing really to look forward to. I was always a like athletic kid. I played tennis, I played softball for years, but obviously I couldn't get out of the house with COVID. So
Yeah.
my brother had a few dumbbells in the basement that he would kind of work out with, and so I expressed to him that I wanted to get into lifting, and he said, "Here, like I'll show you how to do it." So we started doing some minuscule things with the dumbbells in the basement. But and once I was vaccinated, I started going to the gym, and I just went to this little commercial gym about 10 minutes away from my house. And a trainer had come up to me and they said, "Oh my gosh, you're really strong. Are you a power lifter?" And I was like, "What's that? What's powerlifting?" And so the trainer explained it to me, sport of squat, bench, and deadlift. But at that point, I hadn't even touched, like I haven't even benched. I just kind of squatted and deadlifted,
All right.
Mhm.
which is why my bench lacks sometimes a little bit behind the other two lifts. I like to tell people, but yeah, basically I just literally that night I remember looking it up and I just signed up and I was like, sure, okay. It was like 6 months in the future, so
Oh, nice.
and I started training bench, but I never honestly followed a program. I was just kind of so unserious about it. Like, I'm just gonna go to the gym and hit the lifts. But I genuinely did love it.
All right.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. I honestly didn't know that people had coaches, people followed a strict program or anything like that. So
All right.
Yeah, that's very good because, in my opinion, like a lot of people, get a coach as soon as they start, and they can't even, get to love the sport first. And I think that's very important for, the longevity.
I agree,
But
and I think I think one misconception is that like in order to start the sport, you have to have a certain amount of strength or have a really super knowledgeable coach. But I mean, all you really need is a gym and a barbell, and you're good to go.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you were
Yeah.
like, yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna say those numbers that you said without the coach. That's fucking insane. Like that's more than what I
Thank you.
did. Like that's more than what I did. Like my
Yeah,
first
actually, that's
competition.
also more than my first comp. What?
It's crazy.
That wasn't my first comp. That was nationals of last
Oh
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My first comp, I want to say my squat was like 112.5. Bench like 55 maybe, and then deadlift 152 and a half.
Alright. Wait,
Still more than me.
so for a little bit of context, your first comp, when was that? You said 2022,
It
right?
was May of 2022. Yeah, I was 16. Yeah, I was 16.
Yeah. You're born 2006.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 18 right now.
So you're last year sub junior.
Yeah, I'm very sad, but it's all right. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. But you said that your training was like really unserious back in the day. Like, what type of stuff would you do? Were you like the typical like max out every day, or were you just like not any structure, just random?
Oh, okay. So there was like hardly any structure, but it was honestly a lot of just going max out every single time. It didn't have to be like a
Yeah.
single, but what I would do, I vividly remember this, especially for deadlifts, I would go balls to the wall because I knew that I had like pretty good deadlift strength. And back then I pulled conventional, which is like my form, my strength, the intensity. I don't know how I didn't just like die, but I'm good now. I just remember vividly what I would do is I would do 1 week, I would do 5 reps on like deadlifts, but I would go RPE 10, and then the next week a triple RPE 10, and then like a double RPE 10, and then a single RPE 10. So I just thought, oh, go to failure every time.
Bodybuilding.
Which works for a short amount of time, but then like for the longevity, like you're just gonna burn out. It's not gonna work out. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Were you doing like any other like? Because you said you got into it because you wanted to like improve your physique, have like more confidence in your body and stuff. Were you doing like accessories like bodybuilding movements and stuff like that, not just squat and deadlift? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of accessories. Like you probably heard the term junk volume.
Yeah,
Let's just say I was taking junk volume to the max. Like when I got a coach and I only had 2 to 3 accessories every day, it was a shock for me because no joke, I would do like 6 or 7. Like I would be in the gym for way too long, and like my body would be constantly just so exhausted. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Danny also does a lot of junk volume still.
It's not junk volume. Nah, I've built up like really slowly, but now it's a lot of stuff compared to most people.
Yeah.
Some of my days I have a lot still, but like before it was to a different caliber.
Yeah, I get that.
Yes. So like leading international, so you said you told us a little bit about your numbers and you won. But like, so you did your first meet in May. What was in between your first meet and nationals? What made you you briefly mentioned like a little bit about getting to know international comps? Like, what really made you think like I want to compete internationally and stuff like that? Just go like a bit more in depth into that in between.
Got you. So I think I remember the day after I competed for the first time, I was like, oh my God, I love this sport. I need to get it. I need to go do another comp. And something I should definitely mention, which I don't know why I didn't mention before, is during this time when I first got into powerlifting, I was still playing tennis. I was doing tournaments, and I was playing my high school varsity softball team. My whole first prep, I would go to the gym at 5 a.m. and lift, and then I'd go to practice after school or like a game, and I wouldn't be home until 10 p.m. So I had hardly any sleep. I was running off of caffeine, just going. So got a little like less intense after that meet because softball season ended, but I was still playing on my travel team in the summer, which is definitely less intense. It's not practice every day, and I didn't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to train, but definitely still a lot more energy being wasted on something. And at this point, I kind of was falling out of love with my 2 sports that I had done my whole life. I was trying to focus more on powerlifting. So signed up for another local meet that July. that December I did a meet. I'm pretty positive.
All right.
I
Long off season.
Yeah, longer off season after I realized like I need to chill out.
Mm.
And then after the meet in December is when I decided I wanted to do powerlifting American Nationals because I had
Tell
been
us a little bit
friends.
about that meet. Tell us a little bit about that meet.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
All
I
right.
had been friends with. Oh wait, you want to hear about the December meet?
Yeah. We don't have to go so
Okay.
fast.
Okay. Sorry.
No
Okay.
problem.
So December meet. That was my first 9 for 9 meet. I remember that. I was really happy. That was also USAPL. It was in Florida. I want to say I squatted 132 and a half, benched 65, and deadlifted 165.
All right.
Yeah.
Big improvement.
So then after that meet, I had been friends with Joy for a long time, which is kind of like how I got introduced to Vin in the future. But I had been friends with Joy since like 2021, before she had went on the world stage in 2022, back when she was a sub junior. But I had seen her do that in 2022, and she had explained to me how much of an amazing like experience it was. So
all right.
I was like, okay, I kind of want to try and do that. I would stalk people that were in my weight class, and I kind of realized, okay, I can do this. I can totally win and get first. Like, let's go. So at this point, I'm still playing varsity sports at my school. However, I decided I wanted to quit softball and play varsity tennis instead. For this spring, for the prep of nationals. So again, I would wake up at 5 a.m. every day to train, which ultimately led to my downfall on that prep because I had injured my back pretty badly that February. No. I couldn't deadlift for like 6 weeks of my prep. I didn't deadlift until like 2 weeks out of my meet. Wow, yeah. So I didn't know what my strength was at. So I just remember 2 weeks out, I tried to pull like, I'm trying to think of like kilos, like 160.
Were you still conventional or were you sumo by that point?
No, I switched to sumo for my December meet, in November. Yeah. So my sumo form was not like anything good. It was more conventionaling a sumo, if you know what I mean. You just look at somebody's form and you're like, that's not sumo. So I injured my back pretty badly. I could hardly walk, honestly. I could bench just fine. Squatting was a bit painful, but I kind of got through it. I just went light for a while. And obviously all these things combined, like I didn't have a coach, so I was kind of going really hard. I was waking up at 5 a.m. I was playing hours of tennis every day. My body was just very overworked. So I think the rest for my back was definitely good. And I think this injury was kind of a blessing in disguise in a way, because it gave me time for my body to recover. And on the platform, I ended up pulling 167.5, which was a 2.5 kilo PR my December meet, which isn't a lot given the amount of time, but given the fact that I was injured for so long of that prep, I was really satisfied with it. So
I tend to see that's like a trend. Like usually when you get injured, when you're injured, obviously it's not nice, but after you like realize maybe there was something there, like that was actually kind of helpful. I don't know, sometimes I've only been injured once, so for me at least it was the reason I got a coach, so that was really like crucial.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was part of it, because it was kind of a eye-opening experience. Like, okay, you need to get on it, Eleni. You need to stop just doing whatever and working yourself to the brim. But after nationals, honestly, my back just didn't have a problem again, knock on wood. Because I also kind of realized, okay, like I can't be going heavy all the time. I can't just keep maxing out. I can't do it because one, like my progress was getting a little bit more stagnant, because obviously you need to have off-season building phases with like stuff that is not even above an RPE 8. So right after that, I had actually met my coach at Powerlifting American Nationals last year. He was one that like took my attempts in the beginning and like was outside the weigh-in tent. So like I had introduced myself and we were familiar with each other, and he knew that I was friends with Joy. So after nationals, I kind of I was talking to him just a little bit. And then he was like, if you ever need somebody to coach you for this Worlds Prep, like I know this is your first Worlds Prep, like feel free to reach out. I'm the coach of the team, so I'll be handling you when you're at Worlds. So just let me know. And I said, yeah, honestly, let's do it. I need a coach. I can't be going to an international competition and not having any sort of structure and my own thing. Now I know you guys probably know Danny. I don't know his last name.
Who'd you say? Daniel Harris? Danny.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had him on
Like-
like in the start of our podcast like a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
A while ago.
Because this is probably not new to you then. I feel like I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, him saying like he didn't really have a coach like on Worlds Prep.
Yeah, I think he got a
Um,
after Worlds he got a coach from Singapore, Langston, if you know who he is.
Yeah, right. So I like that is insane because that kid is strong as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know how he did that the whole Worlds Prep, but you know what? Cheers to him because that would not have worked for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, he kind of helped me all the way through there. We became like a lot closer. The first time we met, like really as coach and as him as my coach was at Worlds, but
all right.
we spent a lot of time there together, and we like grew much closer. So
Nice.
like it's definitely been a better relationship as gone on, like as he learned more about me, because there was definitely some mistakes we made over Worlds Prep that probably could have been better for my building and prep itself. But looking back on it now, it's definitely helped us learn. Like my deadlift form has changed tremendously since then, because looking back on how it was going over Worlds Prep was kind of questionable.
Yeah. How would you say like how was your training looking into powerlifting America when you're like starting to realize like, oh, I might be doing something wrong here with the maxing out every day? And like how was that compared to, oh, I just got a coach, and then like what did he give you, and then how was it into Worlds, like your training?
Yeah, so all of my training up until nationals felt so terrible, and it definitely had to do with how exhausted I was, and then like I was injured, but I do remember hitting like the highest in prep I hit was like 70 bench, which I did hit on the platform. 137.5 squat, which I also did hit on the platform, and then like I don't even know what I pulled as my max over prep. Like I don't remember, because I just remember vividly failing 160 and then somehow getting 167.5 on the platform. But tapered, and I did taper correctly, because I would like look it up online how to taper. So at least I got myself that.
Right. Nice.
But at least like I was doing some kind of taper, even if it wasn't personalized to me. It was something to lower the intensity to get me ready for the meet.
Yeah, for sure. So then
after
keep going.
Yeah, but after nationals, there was actually like 2 months. So I went to high school nationals last year. This year I'm going to age division just because there was more people going there.
Yeah.
But last year I went to like high school nationals, which was beginning of April, and then age divisions was in like late May, similarly to what it is this year.
All right.
So I was not coached by Vin for the month of April and the month of May. We started talking like after he went to age division nats, and after I got the invite to Worlds, since Worlds invites come out after age divisions. So
wait, isn't that, hold on a second, isn't that a huge disadvantage for everyone competing at high school nats, because someone could just come and take their spot if they out total them?
Right, that's why nobody goes to high school nats, really. That's like honestly like
what?
Unless you're Danny, like as I said, we're going back to Danny. Like Danny just competed at high school nats yesterday, but like nobody's gonna beat his total.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna. There's not even. I don't even think there's anybody signed up at age divisions to go against him. Like maybe there's one or two, but it's
they just don't even go.
Like just go home. Like
Damn.
Anyways, yeah, unless you're like him, then it's fine. But there weren't any 57 kilo sub juniors signed up for age division nats. There was like 8 of them at high school. All right. I signed up for that one. And I remember like I had some kind of exam on like the day of age division nats. That's why I ultimately didn't.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
So otherwise I would have done that one. But anyways, it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because I knew that I didn't really have much competition last year. So, because a lot of people my age were still affiliated with USAPL because Powerlifting America wasn't as popular since last year it was like its second or third year of being a federation. So I don't really remember much of what my training was like after nationals, but I do remember turning down the intensity a bit. Tennis season stopped at the end of April, so it was not as intense. And then at this point, like I had fully quit softball. And then after tennis was over, like I didn't pick up a tennis racket again until, well, I still haven't picked up a tennis racket. So, so I then, once I started being coached by Vin, we started straight off the bat with like singles on all lifts, which I wasn't really used to doing like singles all the time every week. It was kind of like a, oh, if I feel like it type moment. So I started doing singles on all my lifts, and it kind of honestly made it a little bit hard for my confidence because I didn't really know what it was like to just go super heavy like for a single. I would go heavy for triples or fives or whatever, but consistently going for singles, I would kind of overanalyze it like, oh, did that move slower? Did that move faster? Like, it was good for me to learn the skill, but it kind of messed with my head in the beginning so just because I wasn't really used to it. So I was kind of questioning if I was making progress. And honestly, a lot of lifters go through this, especially when you're first getting a coach or switching coaches. You might have a little bit of doubt in what's going on, but you kind of just have to trust what's going on because it does work eventually. I was definitely concerned though with the lack of progress that I felt, but it was definitely more mental rather than physical. And I was putting a lot of pressure on myself for that entire Worlds prep because, just to give some context, I was nominated second by 4 kilos, I want to say.
Ooh, damn, that's interesting. That's exciting.
So I ended up getting killed by like 30 kilos, but we'll get there. So I was nominated second by 4 kilos. I was at 375 and she was at 379. This girl from Singapore, she was incredible. So I was putting an immense amount of pressure on myself because everybody around me, everybody at my school kind of thought, oh my gosh, Eleni's the best at what she does. I had never lost at a meet before because, I mean, I wouldn't have anybody against me at local meets. I think I won nationals by like 60 kilos. It wasn't even close. So I wasn't really used to any sort of competition. So I think a lot of it had to do with me just being mentally putting a lot of pressure on myself, worrying every single day. Am I going to win? Am I going to win? What's going to happen if I lose? Like, I wouldn't want to do the sport anymore if I lost. Well, what do I do? So I had my eyes on the prize to get gold. And then I also had my eyes on the prize to get the world record deadlift or leave with the world record deadlift.
What was it at then?
At the time, it was 162.
Oh, okay. So you'd already pulled more than that in comp. Yeah, that's
right. I think it was 162 or 163. I can't recall what I opened with at World, but I opened with the chip of it. But we'll get there because that's a whole story.
Opened with it. All right.
Well, that's a whole story. So it was like just deadlift world record and win. Like I didn't care about the total world record or squat, bench, whatever. They were kind of out of reach, and I was just kind of like, okay, like I want to win deadlift world record. Let's go. I kind of focused more on the deadlift world record though because it was more realistic at the time because like my deadlift was nominated like 15 kilos ahead of everybody else's. So I was fairly confident, especially now that I was healthy, that I could pull and definitely get that world record. So towards the end, like August, towards the end of prep, I definitely started to get the hang of things. My deadlift absolutely spiked up. It was probably the only lift that was going how I wanted to be going. My squat stayed pretty stagnant. Like I ended up hitting 142.5 at the end of prep, but it wasn't. It was a big grind. Like it wasn't anything crazy at the time. Like I was just kind of unsatisfied with it. And then bench, I hit 77.5, I think.
All right.
Which was like a good amount of progress since nationals, but
for sure
I was like unsatisfied with it for some reason. I don't know why, but looking back on it, I should have been very satisfied with like 7.5 kilos onto my bench in that time. But at the time. I was very unsatisfied. But my deadlift, I had pulled 182.5.
Oh, you're well over that, right?
Like
Damn.
RPE 13 though. Like
Oh.
okay, I think it probably would have gotten like some reds on the world stage. Like for gym PR, I would say like it was good. So it wasn't like I hit stage, so maybe some slight downward motion, which is important to note because that ultimately resulted on my downfall.
Oh,
But going into Worlds, I never really had an issue with downward motion on my deadlift, but for some reason, we'll get to it. But at Worlds and after Worlds, couldn't avoid it. Like every single deadlift, I would fall forward at the top. I would hardly be able to lock it out. And if I did, it was like so fast off the ground and so slow at the top that I wouldn't know where my top end was or what I could lift, honestly. Like it was kind of just like I felt like my deadlifts were going backwards. But as I said, we'll get there. So it's kind of the entirety of Worlds prep in a nutshell.
Yeah. How was like body weight sitting? Like, did you need to cut to make 57, or how was that?
No, so actually I was really light back then. Oh my gosh.
Alright.
Because with tennis at nationals, I think I weighed like 54.6 or something like that. Like I was
alright.
light, like so light. And then going into Worlds prep, I was a little bit heavier, but I would say I sat like 55.5 to 56 max,
Yeah,
like on a
that's
good
true.
day. Yeah, right now my weight's definitely a lot better. I'm more top end, like 56.5 to 57, but like
Alright,
I've never had a day where I don't make weight, so I'm kind of just sitting at a perfect spot for my nationals this year.
nice.
But at the time, like I wasn't really stressed about my weight. I was just kind of like, whatever, like we're in the class. It's
Yeah.
um
Yeah. How tall are you, by the way?
I'm 5 feet.
Oh, alright. Yeah.
Oh,
Then it
sorry.
makes sense.
I don't know what that is in
No, I
centimeters.
understand like feet.
I can look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but were you looking like
Oh,
did
damn.
you
Okay.
track any nutrition, or was it like, oh, I'll make the weight class, so it doesn't really matter?
Well, I tracked my nutrition just for like protein and carbs,
Oh, alright.
but like I wasn't worried about like restricting my calories in any way or my carbs or my protein. It was kind of like just like a low bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I gotta
I
at
could
least
go
eat
over it if I
this.
wanted, but
Or, yeah,
like I just had to make sure I was getting a certain amount.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So do you want me to get into like Worlds itself?
Yeah, wait,
Yeah.
Lucas, did you find that, or that's not?
Yeah, it's 152 centimeters.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, give some
Sounds
context.
about right.
That's short.
Average
You'd be
powerlifter.
surprised. There were some tall people in the 57 class. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is in centimeters again, but there's this one girl that's like 5'7",
What? Yo.
Damn.
and I'm like,
That's
what?
crazy.
Like, what are you doing
Deadlift
here? Go to
demon
the
or something.
69s.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
okay,
let's talk about Worlds. Like, how was travel? How was like everything lead up to, like to get
I'll give you
there?
all the details.
Exactly.
So I left. So I competed on August 28th, and I think I left on the 24th. I think the timing was actually pretty good. Like
Nice.
for this year, like if we get there, we'll talk about my prep right now later. But
Yeah.
I would probably leave around the same time. Like I think overall energy levels were totally fine. Like I acclimated to the time change pretty well. I flew out of Washington D.C. and I flew through Munich, Germany. Overall, it wasn't too long of a travel day, honestly. It was like 8 hours to Munich and then like an hour and a half layover there, which ended up actually getting delayed. But
Oh no.
I got to Romania like 4 p.m. their time on like the Friday before I competed on Monday. Yeah, I competed on Monday.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good time.
So it was a good amount of time. And my weight when I had landed, I remember training at the gym there and then going to weigh myself, and it was like 56 point something. And it was like, okay, like that's normal for me. That's normal for me late in the day. As someone who regularly sat like 55.5, because I had known that I had to weigh in at 3 p.m. for my weight class.
Damn, that's
So
kind of late.
over prep, I was kind of tracking my weight, like making sure like, okay, will I have to starve myself until then, or can I eat before, or whatever? And so
That's
I
smart.
just went to go weigh myself on like the official scale there. And I was like, okay, like I'm still under, and it's like 4 p.m. Like we're good. Don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
So one mistake that I'm looking back on that I will definitely avoid this year for nationals and worlds is kind of relying on just the food there rather than like bringing my own food, bringing my meal prep, being on my nutrition game 110%. Because honestly, my weight fluctuates not too much like to the higher end, but it will drop really fast if I am not drinking enough water, if I'm not eating enough food, it'll drop really fast.
Yeah.
Especially as an American, our food is filled with sodium, filled with stuff that just makes you retain water. And I never actually fully understood how much of a difference it is being in Europe until I was actually in Europe for a chunk of period and like actually tracking my weight. Because I had been there before, but like in no context that I would track my weight and then like see a difference.
Compare.
Yeah. So I had felt like I was eating a normal amount. Like I would eat like 3 meals and snacks that I usually would. I wasn't restricting my food intake at all. But I just remember weighing myself like that next morning, and I was like 54.5, and I was like, "What?"
Damn, 1 kg.
Like, what? Oh, you don't. Oh my God, it was bad. Okay, so I was like, "What? Like, how am I this low? Like, it doesn't make any sense." And at this point, it was like Saturday, and I'm kind of like, "Okay, like, let's go out, let's eat, let's whatever." So I kind of like, I was no joke force feeding myself so much, like I felt sick. But it was just like air. My body was not taking it in. It was like literally like every food was just being rejected. And
damn.
I woke up the next morning around the same body weight. And then I woke up the morning of my meet. I woke up at like 10 a.m. or something. And I went down to the official scale and I weighed 53.5.
Oh my God.
Hey.
I was
Might as well
so
compete
mad.
in the 52. Come on.
I was so mad. My coach was mad. I was mad. I was like, why am I competing 57? Like, literally, why? When I could just go down and easy cut. Clearly, my body's fine with it.
You could have just spat like with the Jolly Ranchers for like an hour and be good for 52.
And I would have been fine. So I was really upset, and I was just kind of, it was definitely tricking my mentals and like making me really upset. But I was like, okay, not much I can do now. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna hydrate. I can eat whatever the heck I want. Whatever. I ended up weighing in like 54.9 or 8. I can't remember. Like still really light. Like way lighter than I was over prep. And when I would weigh myself over prep, it would always be like empty stomach, like 56. So like be 2.5 kilos lower as somebody that's my size, it is a very large percentage of your body weight. So as you could tell, things felt heavy in the warm-up room. So into the meet, honestly, once I actually got to Romania, I really wasn't honestly that nervous. Like once I was there, I felt kind of a sense of just like being calm. I was like, okay, I'm here. Like I'm so grateful to be here. Everything's gonna be great. I was confident in the lifts I hit on prep because I don't think I failed any singles that prep. So I was like, okay, like I've been really consistent. I'm ready to go in and do my best. So I went into squats. I think it's actually important to note this. I was wearing the SBD knee sleeves at Worlds. Because I got like the USA singlet. But like before Worlds prep, I was squatting in insers. And I don't know if you guys have ever squatted in both of them. But they're really, really, really different. Like really different. So the entirety of Worlds prep, I was wearing my SBD knee sleeves. And I didn't necessarily lose anything from my squat. But I didn't gain anything either. It kind of changed my form a little bit too because since it's less sturdy, I would fall forward more in the hole. Be less upright. Which for me just didn't really work out well. So, anyways, important to note that because I'm now squatting back in insers. But
lesson learned.
I was wearing my SPDs and we're going into squats and like I knew that I did not feel my best. Like energy wise, again, fine. Like I didn't feel like I felt skinny, let's say that, but I didn't feel like necessarily terrible. I just tell my body's lost some weight. I've traveled. I haven't eaten how I normally eat. My body is a little bit
shook.
You know. Yeah, so I just remember like my last warm up was like 120 in the warm up room, and I was like, okay, like it moved okay, but I kept asking my coach and his girlfriend who was there in the back helping us, like, did that move okay? Like it didn't feel that great, and he was like, I think it moved well enough to open with 130, like you'll be fine. So I went out there, I took 130. It felt like honestly pretty much normal how 130 would feel.
All right.
3 red lights, no issues. And then I went out for my second to take 135. And it felt like pretty slow, but for me, I'm honestly like a really slow squatter. I can grind very well with my squats. So like it was a bit of a grind, but I thought personally like I could have loaded 140 on the day. But
Yeah.
again, me and my coach didn't really know much about one another at this time. Like, honestly, if I was him, I would have been like, yeah, we're doing 137 and a half. Like, that moved terrible. But for me, now
Yeah.
he definitely knows. Like, that's literally my RPE 7. Like, I swear to God.
Damn.
Like, I,
French.
so, literally. So, he loaded 137 and a half. And I think going into this is not his fault whatsoever. But I think going into that squat, I was just unsatisfied knowing that 137 and a half was going to be my top end because I had hit that at my meet in April.
Yeah.
And I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, what was all this for? Anyways, I was in my head a little bit, and I ended up missing that squat on
Oh,
depth,
damn.
which hadn't happened in a long time. So I was kind of just like, interesting. And for me with the SBDs, I couldn't really feel when I was hitting depth. With the insers, you can kind of feel like the crease when you hit depth. Kind of hard to explain, but like I can
Yeah.
feel it when I hit depth in the insers compared to when I squat in the SBs because they just kind of feel like socks to me. But
Yeah.
so I just kind of shook it off. Like I was upset, but I was just like whatever because at that point the Singapore girl had squatted like 155.
Yeah. She had a
So
big
she was
squat.
like fell ahead of me, yeah. But at this point, like I was honest, I was actually still like in first, like projected because of my deadlift opener, which was at 170, but we ended up lowering it. But anyways, so I was just kind of like whatever, like we're gonna kill bench and deadlifts.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I opened up with 67 and a half on bench. Honestly, I jumped the command so bad, but I got 3 red lights. So I jumped it so bad. It was
Damn.
terrible. My coach was like, "What are you doing?" And then second attempt, I took 72 and a half. And that moved well too. Like honestly, really easy through red lights. And so then I went out to take 75, and it absolutely pinned me, which was weird because I had benched that so many times in prep. Like I think I'd hit it for a double. I think I'd hit it with like a long pause. I in no way was like unprepared to hit that. Like that was not out of my range.
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't think I had the strength for it on that day because it was not close. I don't think it was much of a technical issue. Although I do think I was in my head about elbow depth, even though clearly I had nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Body weight for
Considering your body weight drop too, that's
Yeah.
Bench is usually
body
the
weight.
most affected, I would say.
Yeah, so that was definitely what the most likely hit my bench most because like I felt like squats I felt a little bit tired for, but it was nothing like crazy.
Yeah. You probably had 145 with the insers.
Literally, like, oh my god, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there because I'm really upset about that.
Alright.
So, then deadlifts. Okay, this is where the craziness starts to unravel. At that point, after I missed my bench, I was kind of like, okay, like I'm probably not gonna win, but let's just get the deadlift world record because that's what I came here to do. Like, whatever. Silver is great. It's my first international meet. Like, it's fine. Whatever. Like, I just kind of want to finish like at least 7 for 9 for the day after missing those 2 attempts. Like 7 for 9 isn't bad. I've gone 7 for 9 before. Like, let's go get the deadlift world record. So. Open up with 163.5, or 162.5. Like I literally can't remember, but it was something like that. So, took that, and I remember it feeling a little bit slow at the top, which like the lockout was typically slower overall throughout prep, but it again was never like slow. I was just kind of like, why did that move slow? But whatever. I think I got 2 white lights actually on that one, and then a red.
Was that a world record you opened up with?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that was a good lift. It didn't get overturned. Like good lift. So there, we're great. So The Singapore girl opened up with 152.5 on deadlifts. She took it, great, she got that. And then
How were the totals after the openers? Like, where were you sitting?
I was far behind. I think I was like 20 something kilos behind. Like
Oh, damn.
I wasn't expecting to win or pull for the win at this point. I just wanted the deadlift world record because I knew like my deadlift was stronger than hers. So I went out to take 171.5 on my second attempt, and then it got called for downward motion.
Oh, damn.
It was 2-1 downward motion. We tried to get it overturned. Barry said no. So and the Singapore girl had taken like 162.5 for a second. She got it, smoked it, and whatever. So she then loaded 172.5 for her third. And then my coach was like, okay, we're going to load that same thing. But my lot number.
All right.
No. My lot number was lower. So I had to pull it first.
Nice.
But it's important to note that right before I had gone out for my third attempt, this Canadian girl goes out and she chips the first world record that I got with 164.
Oh my god.
So if you miss, then you don't have a world record.
Right. So right now the world record is 163.5, but I pulled in my opener. This Canadian girl goes out there, rips that deadlift, gets it, 3 white lights. She's got the deadlift world record. Right? So then I go out there for 172.5. I'm like, I've never been so nervous in my whole life. I go out there, get it up, no downward motion, but 2-1 insufficient lockout. I was like, at this point, like, I didn't even know what to think. I was like, like, I just went 5 for 9. I pulled 20 kilos less than what I've hit in training on deadlifts. Like, what am I going to do? The lift gets overturned. I have the world record. So I had the world record with 172.5. But as I said earlier, like, and that was honestly not an RP 10. Like, I would say it was like an 8. Like, I definitely had more on the day. But, like, obviously, since I missed it on my second and, like, apparently couldn't put my shoulders back far enough. And yeah, whatever. So I had the world record, 172.5, but then Chloe, the Singapore girl, bumped it up to 173, ripped it, got it. So she left with the world record.
Nah, come on.
So it was insane. It was insane. I remember leaving that day was honestly, not to be like dramatic, but like it felt like I was just like in a nightmare the whole day. After that, at that point, it was like 9 p.m. when our session finished.
Damn.
Like 8 or 9 p.m. like with awards and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was actually competing in the same session as one of my best friends, Jessica Haggerty. She's a 52. She's actually a 57 now, but she won 52s last year. So like I was so happy for her. Like in no way like taking a dig at her when I say this. I really wanted that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Like, I was so proud of her. I just wanted that glory. I wanted to feel what she was feeling. You know what I mean? Because I just felt like I put in all that work. I got a coach. Like I traveled this far, and then I didn't meet the expectations that I thought I had for myself. So I remember that night, like I had me and my coach, like he could tell I was super upset. I remember his girlfriend like texting me and she was like, Eleni, like he's upset, not at you. Like he thinks that he messed up and it's his fault. And I like felt terrible because I didn't want him to think that like it was, I didn't for one second think that it was his fault or my fault. I didn't like blame it on either of us necessarily. I just kind of like, you know what I mean? So
it's a bad day.
It was like midnight. But yeah, it was like midnight and I texted him. And he had like long ass days, let me remind you, because he was handling every single USA athlete.
Damn. Wow.
So, like, as I was his personal athlete, he was handling everybody else too.
Yeah.
So, I texted him at like midnight and I was like, hey, can we talk? And he was like, yeah. So we like sat literally, him, his girlfriend, and me sat on the floor of like the 3rd floor in this hotel at midnight, talked till like 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
About the whole thing. I was crying. I was upset. I was so mad about the whole performance. And then, like, he was just kind of comforting me, like, reassuring me, like, just listening to me, honestly, just listening to me yap about whatever the heck that was. And honestly, props to him. I owe everything to him for talking to me for that day and the day after we talked for so long. Just like analyzing what went wrong, what we could do better, what we're going to do next, like how can we take this step forward. And I was expressing to him my concern, like I just don't feel like I literally at that point I didn't feel like I ever wanted to go and powerlift ever again.
Oh,
At that point I was like, I cannot imagine going back to my gym and just like hitting a deadlift session. Like that sounded like literal hell to me.
It's so over.
I was just kind of like, yeah, I was like, it's over. I'm done. That's enough. So obviously that didn't last long. I went to the gym like 2 days later, but
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I left before the banquet, before the meet like had ended. I had left like 2 days after I competed because I had to get back to school. But I was so upset, and looking back on it, this definitely happened for a reason because it lit a fire in me that I definitely needed. Like I wouldn't take it back because I definitely have learned a lot from that meet. I learned a lot for like my form and everything. So, have any questions about that meet before I like move on?
Yeah. I mean, you came in there with like you'd never had any competition in the US, and then you like lost. Like, how did that make you feel? Like, did that make you like think like, I did this, and this, like, I could have done more like in these areas? Like, was there like anything specific you thought, oh, this I gotta do this. This is gonna like change it for me?
I honestly, one of the first thoughts I have was I need to start. As I had mentioned before, I was tracking my like macros, like proteins, carbs, and fats, but it was as I said, like more like a low end. But like I didn't realize that I needed to be eating still like a lot more to maintain my weight.
Yeah.
So after that meet, I was kind of like, I need to lock in. I need to up my calories consistently and track so that I know that I'm eating enough. Because I knew that like if my body weight's sitting that low, I either have to drop to the 52 or bulk up and really fill out the 57s if I want to stay there. And my coach said that to me. Like, he was like, it would benefit you if you just ate more to stay at the top of your class. And at this point in my life, like, and I wasn't like, as I said, I had concerns about my body early on, but like my weight, like with my body wasn't like I was scared to put on the weight. It was just like, I wasn't good at it. So that was kind of eye-opening. I had doubts just like based upon my training, like did I train hard enough? Was I pushing my accessories? Was I hydrating? Was I eating? I was just kind of having a lot of doubts on my training overall over Worlds Prep. I was just kind of mad at myself thinking that there was this that I could have done better, done that better. I could have brought my own food to Worlds. I could have hydrated more, etc.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I don't know if you have heard this episode, but Joy, like right after she did like Worlds, I don't know what competition she got off, but she went on King of the Lifts. It was last year.
Yes, I did listen.
Yeah, and she like briefly talked about how like there's like a big culture and like that she was exposed to, especially by like her therapist even told her that like having muscles as a girl is like really like in a negative connotation. And like I don't know, did you ever like experience anything like that, or were you like, I want to get jacked? I don't know. How was your experience with that?
Honestly, it was just like, I want to get jacked. I, for one, just like loved breaking gender barriers. I loved going to school and like people knowing me as like a strong girl. Like my high school, I don't know how school works there, but like I'm in high school now. I'm about to graduate. I just like I liked it when people thought of me as like, oh, like I'm that strong girl that goes to the gym. I loved that. I in no way thought that my muscles were manly or took away from me being feminine. Anyways, I kind of just loved it. So yeah,
that's really good to hear. I like powerlifting. The thing that really like is like I think it sets it apart from other sports is that like guys and girls watch each other. Like in football or basketball, like no one is watching the WNBA unless they're like a girl or like know someone there. In powerlifting, I don't know about like every guy, but at least me, I'm following most of the like I have like track of most of the open lifters and stuff like that. So I think that's really nice to see that like the like standards are changing, and that it's not negative for girls to have muscles and like to participate in powerlifting, stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's getting like, as I'm gonna go into talking about my future prep and competition and whatnot,
Yeah.
it was really cool to go to Worlds and see how many I am in like the most popular sub junior women's class. Like there was like 20 something in my class compared to the other
Damn,
classes.
yeah.
There was definitely less. And it was just so awesome to see people from all around the world that shared the same passion. It really gave me like very new view, because I kind of, at my school, I was like, I'm the only person that's into this. I don't know anybody. I'm not really that close with anybody.
Yeah.
I was kind of friends at the time with this kid. His name's Trevor Klein. He was a sub junior 120 that went to Worlds last year. He got bench gold. Now we're like best friends, but over that prep, like we were friends, but we weren't like nearly as close as we are now. So he was kind of like the only person I really had to talk about that like he knew, that like I knew in real life. So it was really cool to go around the world and see how international the sport really is and how supportive everybody is of everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of how me and Lucas like experience from like having a podcast where we get to like talk to people that we would have never met otherwise in powerlifting, and like just talk to people from other parts of the world. It's really nice.
Yeah, like exactly, like I'm talking to you right now. Like this is sick.
Yeah, I don't think we would have met otherwise in any other way. So yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like I've made so many friends. Some of my closest friends of life, like as I had mentioned before, Joy, one of my best friends, Chelsea, love her so much. Jess, the girl that I was just talking about too. Them three have become like, oh, and this girl Kelsey, she's a junior 57. Like we all became best friends, and I still talk to them weekly, daily. I'm gonna see them in Austin. Like I'm so excited. So
Yeah,
that's
really nice how I've gotten to meet so many people.
Yeah, it's the same with me and Lucas. We live 5 hours apart. He lives in like the capital, Stockholm, and I live in the south. So like we're only friends because of powerlifting, but we're basically best friends now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get into a little bit like after Worlds up to now, and like going forward, like bench Worlds and everything that's coming now.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I had mentioned, after Worlds, I did not want to train. I felt defeated. My body was exhausted. I remember waking up the next day. My back was so cooked. I was like,
damn, yeah.
What is happening? And honestly, like I've had post-meet fatigue. Like this is not my first rodeo, but like that caliber, I was like, my body's in pain. Like what is happening? So after that, I mentioned I left like 2 days after I competed. I didn't train there or anything, but I flew back home. Okay, I left on Wednesday, but I ended up spending a night in Munich on my way back home. So I was back home on Friday. And I remember getting off the plane. I got back home around 6 p.m. after my long travel day, 6 p.m. like U.S. time. I walked into my room, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym right now.
Hey,
So
let's go.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, like I don't want to powerlift, but like I just want to like go to the gym and like see why I like going to the gym. I didn't touch a barbell. I just went in, did like accessories, like bodybuilding type stuff. My coach was like, don't touch a barbell. You need to recover. Like, so I'm just doing accessories. I was like, okay, like I feel really exhausted, but like that kind of just reminded me why I like to go to the gym. Otherwise, other than the competitiveness from it. So that whole week, right, like when I got back, I had to catch up on schoolwork because I'd missed a whole week of school. And I just needed a rest, but I didn't want to take a break from going to the gym because I mean I had nothing else to do at this point. Like as I said, I wasn't playing tennis, I wasn't playing softball, so the gym was really the only thing that I did since like parents saw that powerlifting was very serious now that I'm competing internationally. It wasn't just a little hobby.
Yeah, that's also something I want to ask about, like a little bit, like how were your like parents reacting to like you taking powerlifting so seriously, or like
they've been so supportive. Both absolutely love the sport now. My mom didn't come with me to Worlds, but my dad came with me to Worlds, and he's probably like my biggest supporter. Like out there, I send him all my videos. He like loves it. He's gotten super into the sport. I tell him about all my friends and like my competitors. He's so into it. But I think before
That's cool.
think before they just wanted me to play high school varsity sports for like the team aspects, and then like
yeah.
my college applications to have it on my resume. So I kind of understand where they were coming from. I wasn't an international athlete by then, so like they didn't really know how good I was at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I understand like their point of view. So after Worlds though, it was definitely eye opening for both of them. Like wow, like
that's good to hear.
get internationally, she cares a lot. Like you know what I mean? So after that week passed by, that first week of being back home,
yeah,
Ben and I hopped on a call and we started talking about going forward, what we're gonna do. I was like, and like, I cannot sit here and train knowing going into nationals, not stepping on a platform again, knowing that's what I just did. I can't take an off season from August knowing that was my last performance. Like I couldn't, my mind was like, no, because I knew that was not the best performance. And he said, hey, look, I'm having a meet at my gym in Buffalo, New York, which is like more northern part of the United States. I'm like mid, but like East Coast. Like not far, like an hour and a half flight, like not far at all. He lives there, Joy lives there, whatever. He was like, come to this meet at the end of October. We're not going to peak for it. We're not going to prep. Just kind of like get your numbers up, get your confidence up. Like, let's go do it.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, that's honestly, I'm so happy I signed up for that meet because it pushed me to keep going. Like after I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore, I just kind of like had like post meet blues. Like I just competed on the world stage. I was like unconfident that I would be able to go to Worlds again because just given like my circumstances for this year, like I'm going to university, which actually it's gonna work out perfectly. But as I said, we'll get there. Like there was so much uncertainty last year. I was just kind of like, I don't know what could happen. Like I might not be able to go to Worlds again. That might be my last shot, and I can't leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we started changing up my training style a little bit. We added in an SBD day. I started squatting 3 times a week. We started trying to change my deadlift form a little bit. But like my deadlift still felt pretty off from August to that October meet. Like it was very hit or miss still. Like with the up or down. Like we would try to change everything I did, like change shoes, change form. Like it was just not working out. And I would try to go wider, try to go narrower. I couldn't feel anything that I felt comfortable in. I think the fact that I was trying to change every week definitely didn't help me. Like I was not being consistent. I was just very unsatisfied with what was going on.
Yeah.
But so then I did that October meet, end of October. I squatted 140. I benched 75.
Nice.
And I deadlifted 175. So I PR'd all my lifts from Worlds. I, like not peaked. I didn't even like taper. I was just like didn't lift like the 2 days before. I didn't taper. All attempts were like not RPE 10 whatsoever. The squat was like a 7. I put my inserts back on.
Good.
Squat was like a 7. Bench, I had missed my third, which I think was 80. I loaded, which was like probably too much to load for the day. I was just getting like excited, but like the 75 was easy. Let's just say that. And then I pulled 175, no downward motion whatsoever, and like felt like totally fine, like your normal how my deadlifts usually did before like over Worlds prep. So I was kind of like, I needed that meet as a confidence booster. It got me really excited for this nationals prep that I'm on right now. And it kind of lit that fire back that I really needed. And I got my confidence back. I was like, okay, I just added 10 kilos to my total with like hardly trying. And within like 2 months time, I just had to make my attempts and then boom, there we go. So October meet was just overall a very fun experience. I got to see all my friends. A bunch of my friends from Worlds came and did it just for fun. So it was nice to see everybody. And then after that, I was totally
about the October meet. I'm not sure if I'm correct on this, but I think I saw. Is that the meet? Do you know who Elliot Sykes is? Malicious Lifts.
Yes.
Yeah, is that the one he did?
January. He did one in January.
All right, so it's not the same meet.
Right. My coach like runs that gym where they're at,
Yeah.
and he has tons of meets. Like there was one today too.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Damn.
Yeah. So he did the one that was in January. I did the one that was in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's insane. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I'm thinking. Okay, so, and after that, as I said, really excited to go in and train. We kind of kept like my structure the same because I really liked the way my structure was with the SBD. Squatting 3 times a week really helped my confidence. But after that October meet, I decided like, and I need to focus on my subtotal. My deadlift is great. My deadlift sets me apart. I want to build a foundation that like
Yeah.
makes me a total specialist. I just kind of relied on my deadlift, which was my downfall at Worlds. I never really focused honestly that much on my squat and bench
Damn.
because I was like, oh, I'm great at deadlifts. I don't need to.
Yeah.
So I said to Vin, I was like, we need to change my bench form because my lockout on bench, like my right would lock all the way out on my 3rd attempt bench at that meet. My right was all the way locked out, and my
damn.
left was all the way at the bottom. And I never really had experienced that
Damn.
before. Like I never had like super terrible imbalances. So I was just kind of like, what's going on? So we changed my bench form. I switched to Japanese grip or like bulldog grip
Yeah.
on my bench.
Yeah.
It's like somehow just fixed it instantly. I don't know the science behind that, but that's what fixed it.
Yeah. I did the same thing recently. It helped a lot.
Yeah, I love it. So I switched that. As I said, like I was squatting now consistently in inzers and squatting 3 times a week, upping the frequency.
Nice.
Really helping my confidence on squats. So I was at this point like I wasn't doing singles, like I was off season, like building, doing reps, that kind of thing. Until December of 2024, sorry, not 2024, 2023, like a few months ago. I started hitting singles again and really seeing like where my strength had gone. So I remember on Christmas, I went to the gym and I hit 150 kg on squat, which I was not expecting to hit. It was a 7.5 kilo PR, all-time PR.
That's good.
It was a fatigue single, like I had hit like 285 for 5 prior to it. So, kilos. 130.
Yeah.
Yeah, 130. Yeah, you got it. So, I was really happy with that. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting somewhere. Let's go. And then like the day after I hit 82.5 on bench, just like touch and go. But I was like, my strength's going up. Things are going well. Squat and bench going great. And a few days later, it was time for my deadlift single PR, which I had ultimately decided I wanted, like I was warming up and I didn't feel that great. So I was like, I'm going to take 180. And I failed 180. Like it got off the floor, but like not even past my knees. I remember being really upset, like so upset about that because I felt like I was going backwards, as I said, in my deadlifts because in August I had hit 182.5
exactly
on prep. And I'm like, why can't I lift this? I weigh heavier. I've trained. Why can't I lift this? Like, what's going on? That fail was the last fail that I've had with the downward motion. That's like really, really, really eye-opening. Like, okay, that's enough. We're changing everything. Like, I'm gonna change my deadlift form entirely because at that point I had kind of put my feet out like super wide, thinking that was gonna help. No, didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't help them. So that next block after the new year, going into January, we switched up my deadlift form completely. I had my feet more in like a neutral sumo position, a little bit less pointed out because I was a little bit off balance with how pointed out my toes were. But overall, the thing that changed my deadlift most was like how fast I was ripping it off of the floor, if that makes sense. Like I was just like yanking it. Now, like I set my arms, like I reach down and then I go straight for the pull rather than like just like yanking it.
A little bit more of like a hinge and a slack pull.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it made it much easier for me to lock out, which I had mentioned that I just couldn't lock out. I could get it off the floor so fast, but it would hit my knees and straight down, like not a grind, just straight down.
Yeah.
And I was frustrated because I was like, I don't know what what to do. I was stressed, like, am I ever going to get past this point? What's happening? Whatever. January, I had another singles block. This time it was like fresh singles, like that past block was like fatigue singles. So we went in, it's like a peaking block just to see where I was before nationals prep had started. So I went in and I was like feeling super good again on squat and bench, both feeling so good.
Nice.
At the end of January, at the end of my block, I had hit 152.5 on squat, a 2.5 kilo PR from the month before, and then 87.5 touch and go on bench.
That's big.
Damn.
My bench was skyrocketing.
Yeah.
I think especially with the bulldog grip, it opened up a new like area of growth because that's what I was meant to do, but I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with that, and then it came to deadlifts, and I went in with such an open mind. I was just kind of like, okay, like I know that my deadlifts have been like troublesome. I'm gonna take 177.5 and then see where to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I went there, I took 177.5, and it moved so easily that I was like, what? Like, who is this? So I went on and I took 185 and I smoked it. And I was like,
let's go.
Like an RP8, like smoked it for like a PR. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I broke the plateau. My form is there. No downward motion whatsoever. Like, definitely locked out all the way. I just needed to put my shoulders further back, which was not a strength thing, just like a mental thing.
Yeah.
I was feeling super confident going into nationals prep, which started in February. I was just so ecstatic. I can't even explain it. So then February, like I started my prep, but it took away singles just for like a month just to like build a little bit more. So I had like 5s on everything, which like my body builds well off of. And then in March, I had like another block of singles, more singles. Like I wasn't supposed to go RP 10 on all of them, but like once you get to the end and you smoke something, it's basically just so my coach like doesn't let me fail, like just so I don't fail. It's basically he's like it's like a guideline so you don't fail. So because like my last, I want to say it was like RP 8.5 for everything at the end of my block, like for my last lift. So I would take something that I thought would be like an 8.5, and then like if I got it, like he would let me go up. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm just gonna deload after.
All right.
But like he just didn't want me to fail a single and then not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
been there.
I had end of March. I had taken, so literally like a month ago, I had taken 155 on squat, 90 on bench touch and go.
All right.
And pause I've hit 85 like at an RP 7.5. So like we'll get into that with the bench worlds, but at this point I actually thought, like at this point when I'm maxing out, I just thought that I was still going to just nationals, like not even bench worlds. Like it is mid-March and I had no idea I was going to bench worlds.
Damn.
Because I didn't go to bench nationals, which is like where you're supposed to go.
Okay.
So I wasn't expecting it. Anyways, I pulled 187.5 on deadlifts. Like
all right.
week as well. Also moved like well. Wasn't a crazy grind. Like no downward motion, very smooth. Lockout was strong. Oh, great. And so I remember like literally the night after I had hit my deadlift PR, I received an email and it was like invitation to bench worlds, and I was like, what? What is this?
Damn.
And the bench coach had opened up the nominations to the past like juniors and sub juniors who didn't have somebody in their weight class going. So since there wasn't a 57 kilo sub junior, like as you know, like bench world is taking place in the United States. So So it was kind of like a perfect situation for me because I'm already gonna be in Texas for nationals. It's literally at the same venue.
Oh, damn, that's nice. That's nice.
So everything is in Austin.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't know why. I have nothing to lose. I don't know why I wouldn't do it. I'm nominated second right now for bench worlds, but I'm just kind of.
That's good.
I'm just kind of going into it with an open mindset. Like, I don't need to get gold to be satisfied with Bench Worlds, because I'm just happy I'm getting to go, since I wasn't really thinking about it. But
Have you ever done only bench comp before?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That's
Bench
cool.
Worlds
That's cool.
before you is your bench debut. What?
Yeah, I've never done a bench only. I'm imagining it's gonna be really fast, but
Yeah. And boring. No, I'm joking.
no, but seriously, for me at meets, bench is kind of a side quest. Although I think that's gonna change now.
Yeah.
Now that my bench is like respectable, I think that's gonna change. But before, it was just kind of like squat and deadlift that I focused on.
Yeah.
So as I was saying though, so this, like, I'm on nationals prep, and I'm more focused on nationals, just winning nationals to get that invite to Malta this year.
Yeah.
I have like a few competitors. I think I have like 7, not many, but there's only like really one that's strong that like I'll really be against, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was like in USAPL last year, so she wasn't against me last year.
How close are you guys?
She did a meet in February, and she squatted 132.5 and 75, and then deadlifted 167.5 and failed 175. But like her bench and squat, like she has more on. Deadlift, like her 167.5 was like a little bit hard, but like I can tell like she definitely has more strength on her bench and her squat, so she'll definitely put more up than she did in February.
All right.
So I think it'll be a good, definitely good competition at nationals.
Yeah.
I just trust myself more. Like, I haven't really let it consume me like I did over Worlds Prep. It was just consuming me.
Yeah.
I think now, just because my confidence is way higher, I'm like, okay, I know I'm stronger than her. I trust what I'm doing. I just need to make my attempts, and I will win.
Yeah. The age division nationals this year, right? You're not doing.
I compete on May 18th. Yeah.
All right. So you're how many weeks out right now?
4 exactly.
Oh, nice. That's 6. All right.
Yeah. So we're just getting into peak and everything, but
the fun part.
This week I just kind of got like a maintenance week this week, I think, coming up, just like to stop myself from peaking too early. But
yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
Do you have any idea for your competition at Worlds?
Like, who's gonna be there?
Yeah.
So the Singapore girl, she aged out.
Hey.
Let's go.
There's this really strong girl from Belgium. She didn't do as well as like she definitely could have at Nats, but like I know that she's way more capable of like what she did at Nats. Like, her numbers are very strong. Like, I'm not really focusing in on that meet that she did at nationals, because I know that she's capable of more. There's this girl from Great Britain that's also very strong. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I think me and the other girl from the United States are both gonna get an invite, and then we're gonna be each other's biggest competition.
Okay.
Damn, all right. That'll be interesting. You guys will have 2 different handlers though, right?
Yeah, of course. I'll have we have multiple Team USA coaches, so I'll have my personal coach handle me, and then another one will be her handler.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Nick Gaines and Jack Reynolds, but we had him on.
Of course, yeah.
And he talked a little about how they divided it into 2 coaches. That's good.
Yeah. I think it'll be totally fun, because there was multiple cases of that, not just him. It ended up fine. Like, we'll be teammates. Like, I'll be like I will love to be her friend, but like I'm gonna want to win. I'm not playing like easy. Whether we're teammates or not, like I want to win.
Yeah.
Especially as my last year as a sub junior, like I want to go all out and really get there. So
Yeah, it's really cool how you guys in the US you guys send a full team of sub juniors and juniors. Like, I don't know if you've seen like other countries, but like for example, for us in Sweden, they send like 1 sub junior a year. Like, because you have they pay for you, so they're super selective.
This year they don't even send any.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like so selective. So like a full team has never happened in the sub juniors. So like
it's really awesome. They do such a great job. I'd say the US and Great Britain and like France do like a really great job of it. I feel like they always send a lot. They make it like if you win, so it's like primary selection. If you win your weight class, you get an invite. And then it's like the secondary selection is based off of like Pinot or like how you would have placed
Yeah,
at Worlds. And like also what they're doing this year, which they didn't do last year, is like my total from Worlds last year, I totaled 380, can like count, qualify me again. So let's say
Damn.
theoretically,
So no one beats it.
let's say theoretically, I bomb out. I'm not gonna bomb out, but let's say theoretically I bomb out.
All right.
Yeah.
And that girl like gets first
You
place.
never know.
She gets the primary invite. It's very likely that I'm still gonna be invited. Even that 380 got me second place the year prior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
Like,
that's
that
really
is-
nice. Mm.
So that's why I'm like fairly confident I'm gonna get an invite. Like hopefully, not looking back on this and like, geez, Eleni, you're so cocky. But
I imagine you bomb out.
bro, literally, I will not. If I bomb out, it's gonna be on elbow depth on bench. But that's not gonna happen. Don't worry. It's not gonna happen. Don't even think about it. I'd hope not because I'm also going to Bench Worlds a week after. So that would be.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're screwed.
You're fucked.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with elbow depth. Yet my mind still is like.
Mm.
Literally, I've never gotten lighted on it.
Yeah,
but
it's
mine's still
definitely
free.
it's definitely a little weird of a rule because it's really
Yeah, it's
it
just
feels
weird.
like it's really subjective. It's from like
It's really subjective. Yeah. I don't really know, but we'll see. I think I'll be fine.
yeah, that's good to hear. Do you yourself like do any coaching or like interested in that? Do you like look more like try to understand the programming side of stuff? Or?
I honestly, I am really interested in it for myself in the future. Right now, like I'm going into university this fall.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to study right now. Like I've applied and undecided, and like I'm literally undecided. So the world is like my oyster. But I don't know what I want to study, but I do know that at some point I definitely want to do some coaching when I'm older and have like more credentials. And I mean, like I don't have nothing. Like I'm just a girl that lifts, and like I know a lot about it, but not enough to have. Feel like to have clients. I don't trust myself enough to like have clients fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah. Like take like not regardless of like you mentioned like you have bench worlds and if you qualify for worlds and all that stuff. Like long term, like maybe the next 5 years, like where do you see yourself in the sport? Do you have any like certain goals? Like, oh, I want to be like open world champ, for example, or like is there like have you thought more like far ahead?
Yeah, so as again, like my life is changing a lot this fall when I move out of my house and I'm literally not moving far away. Like the university I'm going to is no joke 15 minutes away.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's in Washington DC. So
Nice.
Georgetown University if you're from United States and you're listening to this.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited though, but what is nice is I'm not gonna have to like I will be training at a gym near there, like not the campus gym. There's one that's close by most of the time. But it is nice that if I ever really want to, I can come home and take my car and go to the gym that I go to now.
Is there by the way, do you know Huascar Carpio? Yeah. Doesn't he have Iron Temple? Isn't he in Washington DC? His gym.
I don't think he's in Washington DC.
Oh, I don't know why I thought that. For some reason, I thought that.
I feel like I would know because
Yeah.
yeah.
No, all right, keep going.
I have no idea. So like I know that structurally my life is gonna change a lot this fall. I'm still gonna focus on powerlifting or else I'll like lose my mind. But my weight class. Like in the United States, I think that like some of the hardest competition I will have is within my country, especially as a junior. Like as I said, Jess Haggerty, she's moving up to the 57s. There's a few others. I'm gonna see like where they're all juniors right now, so it's kind of gonna be interesting to see how my total compares this year to like what they're totaling. So I'll have to see like where I sit there, and like I'm just kind of like focusing on myself after this year. I'm really honed in on winning worlds this year, and then like that's literally my dream. I would be so happy. I'd be so happy. So I'm really working on that. And then after that, like I'm okay not going to worlds for a little bit if it's like means like I can build, and then eventually I do think I'll go again. I don't think this year is my last year.
No.
sure.
I do see myself in the far future being on that open world stage. Once Natalie Richards ages out, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she way too strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's like 26, so maybe I have to wait like a solid 14 years. So, anyways, I definitely know that this year's not going to be my last international competition, whether that's me going to North Americans or Worlds again or whatnot. Like, I don't see like this is the finish line. This is kind of just like a once I win, like that's my starting point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, Iron Temple is like it's
Oh, that's Washington State.
oh, that's not.
Oh, so Washington D.C. Wait,
That's
that's a
not the
city,
state.
and then oh, yeah.
So Washington D.C. is like not a state. I don't know why.
There.
It's not a
Oh
state.
my God,
It's
it's
its
the
own
other
thing.
side of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got it
Okay.
wrong. Yeah, we're not from the U.S. in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't think like so if you're like looking at a map, I live in Virginia, like the northern part of Virginia, so like it's a 10-minute drive.
Oh,
from
okay.
DC.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you mentioned were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Or wait, before I get into this, have you never thought about going up to the 63? You think you're gonna be in the 57 forever?
I think if I move, it's gonna be down, if anything. There's no
Oh,
chance
okay.
I move into the 63s.
Like you struggle
Yeah, 'cause
with
you're
like
pretty
putting
short.
on more mass, or
Yeah, like my weight, like as I said, like I'm sitting at the higher end of the 57s right now,
Yeah.
but like it would never like I'll probably be like at some point like I'll be 57 that sits at 59 or 58, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at no point will I probably sit like 62 without me force feeding myself, you know what I
Damn,
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
So
You haven't even filled out your own class right now, so like, you're not even cutting for it.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really even thinking about it. Like maybe in the far future, like in 10 years, but for now I don't see it happening.
Now you're pretty
Yeah.
much the perfect weight for 57.
You
Yeah.
mean
And like if I had
height.
to if I have to like if I get like a little bit above like ideally I would want to sit like 58 and then like cut into it.
Yeah. I mean, a gut
like in the
cut
future.
would be good.
But like as I said, my weight hasn't fluctuated that much. Like the only reason I put on weight is because I was tracking a lot, but then I stopped tracking in like March. And like I've done a good job of maintaining my weight without tracking, and like it's not really fluctuating up or down. It's just kind of staying like in the perfect place that I want it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I get you then.
So
Yeah, but what I was gonna get into is like, so you mentioned a little bit you did tennis and you said handball, right?
I'm softball.
Softball, my bad. But like, do you have any other interests outside of powerlifting right now? Like any other sports you watch at least? Like anything else?
I'm gonna be so for real. The only sport I watch is like powerlifting. Like even when I played
Cool.
tennis and softball, I wouldn't watch it on TV that much.
Okay.
I'm very, very invested in powerlifting. Like I'll watch every single competition at any point. I'm so excited to watch a competition.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see a trend that like, for me, I go to a sports school. I go to high school. I'm in the first out of 3 years we have in Sweden, and so it's like you get in with your sport. But like I'm the only powerlifter, and like other people, they do their sport. They're not really like watching like their own sport. Like they don't really care. Like maybe they're inspired by the like top of the top, but they don't really keep track. But like a powerlifter, like most powerlifters are really invested. It feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Like,
more
I
like
just-
a niche sport. I feel like where you're
Exactly.
like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I always put it on the TV at my gym while I trained and just like watch it while I'm there.
I used to play soccer, and I still watch a lot of soccer, so I can't
So
relate
you
to that.
can't relate.
Yeah.
But I assume like you enjoyed soccer, right?
Yeah, like when I started powerlifting, I fell in love with the sport so fast, so I started to
Yeah.
like hate soccer, but
Yeah, you
I
get
still love to
you get
watch
the
it.
feeling that I had.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like soccer is such a huge sport in Europe, So it's like the biggest sport in the world. So
Yeah.
a lot of people watch it like they don't even play soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those sports where you don't even have to do it to watch it. Like most of the
No,
people that are really big fans aren't even like a high level themselves.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always watch the World Cup. Like I do like watching the World Cup, but
Okay,
like
All right.
that's cool.
that's the only time I'll
Actually,
watch soccer.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the Olympics, I love
Mm.
watching the Olympics. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like I just like watching those niche sports, like the Winter Olympics, like the bobsledding and the curling. I love watching it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why powerlifting isn't in the Olympics. Like, there's certain sports like what the hell is that doing there? Powerlifting
It's
should be just
beyond me. Like there's
yeah.
speed walking and rock climbing, but
Speed
like
walking.
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
not seen that? Have you not
It's
seen that?
insane.
Like what?
Oh my god. It's literally
Nah.
speed walking. I don't know why it's there, but
Yeah, yeah. Talking about the Olympics, actually, I want to hear your opinion on this. Like, the Olympics like committee, I think they recently I saw something on this where they allowed like they changed the rules so like transgenders are allowed to compete. Like, what's your opinion on that? Like, basically, like biological males going against females.
so I think it really does depend on the sport. Like I could see both sides of the situation, but
Mm.
for me, like with powerlifting, like I am so like I am LGBT, like I am supportive of anybody who's LGBTQ, like full on, but like I I would definitely feel like a little bit upset if somebody that was a biological male was going against me in the sport of powerlifting
Yeah,
Yeah,
because of how much like
it's not
the
okay.
hormones play a role in the sport. Like
Mm.
Yeah,
it's not fair if they like maybe okay. This is like the caveat that I'd be okay with if they're getting like hormone tested and they're like because you know how a lot of people that are transgender like they'll start taking like hormones so like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
they'll take like female hormones if like you're a man transitioning into a woman if they get like tested and they have a like low enough levels, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
yeah.
the
yeah.
only caveat.
Yeah, I mean,
But I still feel like males they have different stuff too. Their bone structure is
yeah,
completely
even
different.
then,
Yeah,
it's still like I don't know. It
yeah,
kind of makes me lose a little bit of like respect for the Olympics. Like, how can the highest level be allowing like
yeah.
this kind of like game changing stuff? It's really like
Yeah, like because
going
if you look
against
at
women,
swimming
basically.
too, like swimming is a lot on your like the way
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
built. Like 'cause typically men have a lot more like upper body strength than women, and like with a
Mhm.
sport like swimming, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that plays a big role. Like like as I said, like I'm in no way like not respective of anybody who's
Yeah, of course,
LGBTQ
of
or
course.
transgender, but I I could see like I see why it's unfair, and I think it is unfair, like
Yeah,
for at least powerlifting.
yeah, yeah. Uh, anything else you want to talk about, Lila, or should we go to
Yeah, I
the
want to ask
yeah?
one question about you mentioned that you track your nutrition and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, what are your macros like? How many calories are you eating? And
Yeah.
yeah,
So like right now, my calories are sitting like 2,200, I think,
Damn, that's
okay,
give
actually
or
a
that's
lot.
take.
good.
It's more than I
I have a
expected.
pretty fast metabolism.
That's
I've been
good.
told by many people that I have a pretty fast metabolism, but I think it's just because like I I like to go on walks. I am just like an active person, and like powerlifting and your muscle structure definitely speeds it up a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, I try to get like minimum 130 grams of protein because like 1 gram per body weight,
Mm.
um,
Hmm.
per pound body weight. Sorry, so I'm like
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
I'm like 125 pounds. Yeah, you get the point. Um, and then carbs are like 230, 250.
yeah. Mm.
Oh,
I don't really track my fats. I'm gonna be so honest.
Yeah, yeah,
So fats are just kind
yeah,
of like what's left.
yeah,
yeah. I get it. I
yeah.
get it. Yeah.
Um. So, one question I want to ask before we move on to the final
Yeah.
questions. Do you have any inspirations in powerlifting that you like look up to? And
Yeah.
Like any
Yeah.
certain
So I totally.
athletes.
yeah,
Yeah. So I totally mentioned that I love Natalie Richards. Like
yeah, of course.
she's the 57 I want to be.
Hmm.
I really like Megan Scanlon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you hear her King
Yep.
of the List recently?
Yes, I
Yeah, she
did.
gave birth to 2 kids, and now she's back. Like that's crazy.
She's like insane. Like I look up to her. She's honestly probably like one of my favorites. I'm gonna be so honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I look up to Joy, but Joy's like one of my best friends. So like,
Yeah.
what else? Let me think, because I definitely have some that are like outside the U.S.
Maybe like Jad.
Yeah, honestly, but I feel like I'm more of a fan of Natalie just because she's from my country.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The ops.
Okay.
I'll always root for Natalie. So I really like Agatha.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
insane.
Like I just think her, ever since her Sheffield win, like I have just been obsessed with her. Like I love that underdog story. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
what else?
Yeah, she's so young and everything. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, Jessica Espinal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I love Turbo Tiff, but like I want Jessica to beat her.
Yeah. I can relate.
So, yeah, that's probably it.
Cool. Okay, should we? So for the end, we have some like random questions to, get to know you more and stuff like that.
Perfect.
So first off, what kind of music do you listen to in the gym and outside of the gym? And if you had one like PR song to recommend to the listeners, what would that be?
My PR song is "My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark" by Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
If you haven't heard it, you should listen to it. Honestly, in the gym, I listen to a lot of Fall Out Boy. It goes hard, and like, to be honest, I don't know how like American music it compares. I don't know like if we like listen to the same music or like, whatnot. But like, he is like a rapper that's so bad he's good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my God, not ye.
It's so bad it's good.
No.
What else? I just like kind of listen to any rap in the gym. I'm gonna be so honest. Outside of the gym, I just listen to like Taylor Swift, like country. But yeah, I would say like Fall Out Boy predominantly, and like
Yeah, that's cool.
rap.
Okay, so favorite meal.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, were we saying like off meal or like nutrition?
Anything.
Okay, so if I had to say like on like my meal, like when I'm like being good, I would say like protein oatmeal is like literally my favorite food. I'm not even lying when I say that. Like I love protein oatmeal so much. But like if we're just saying like regular food, probably like hibachi. You know what hibachi is?
Yeah, bro. Doesn't Yeet rap about that a lot?
Oh.
Benibachi or something like that.
It's funny you say that. But like yeah, it's basically just like I'm actually getting hibachi tonight, so that's exciting. But it's basically just like fried rice, like veggies and like meat.
Yeah.
So
Let me search
good.
that up.
It's so
Yeah, I did it. I did.
search it up.
It looks good.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, I would eat that.
Yeah, that's
for
good.
sure.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So, favorite exercise in the gym. It doesn't have to be one of the SPD, but yeah, you can choose them if you want.
I mean, honestly, deadlifts are like my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite accessory. I like dumbbell incline bench.
All right.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Respectable. Favorite movie, or like if you don't watch movies, like a TV show.
I think. Favorite movie or TV show? You know what Pitch Perfect is?
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
heard of it.
my girlfriend tried to get me to watch it with her.
I think Pitch Perfect is my favorite movie.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I've seen it. And the first one especially.
Yeah, I've been like a choir kid, like a cappella kid, since I was like just like so young. So I've always been into that movie.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So, in your opinion, who is the best female and male lifter in the world right now?
I mean, I'm gonna have to say Agatha.
Yeah.
This current moment for females. Males, wow. The male side just has such depth. Like, it has to be a 93.
Really?
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna have to say it's a 93. Or I think Brandon Petrie is gonna upset some people at Worlds.
Okay.
I like to hear it.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna upset some people at Worlds.
Kraft for the win.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Then who's the? I'm blanking right now. Who's the US 74 going to Worlds this year?
Austin
Alright,
Perkins.
Yes, that guy. Okay,
How
Oh
can you
my
forget him?
what's his name?
Austin
I forgot.
Perkins.
Yeah. Austin and Brandon Petrie are gonna upset some people, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be the best.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good take. That's a good take.
Yeah. Okay.
Crazy
Yeah.
that you
You
forgot him though.
Like, what's his name? Not Taylor Atwood.
The new Taylor Atwood.
Yeah, I can't.
So, do you like Agatha?
Love her. I think
Okay. Okay.
I don't even know. Wait, I don't even know if she's doing 69s or 76 at Worlds this
No,
year.
she's
though.
going
Like, I
back to
have no idea.
76.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Battling Carlina.
Yeah, so Leah can go and take her title easily again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see about that.
Oh yeah, because Carola Gara also moved up.
Yeah,
69,
exactly.
didn't
She has a fat bench. Like I don't,
her bench
I don't
is
understand
insane.
how they bench that much.
Yeah,
They
On
bench
me.
like as much as the supers.
yeah.
Okay. So, last question: if you could go back in time when you like started powerlifting and working out, and you could give one advice to your younger self, what advice would that be?
This one's easy. Just like stop maxing out and like put your ego aside. Get a coach. You know, like I wouldn't say much even like about my nutrition back then. Like I've always been pretty like good about it. It wasn't anything that was like super, terrible. It was just like maxing out. I didn't take enough rest days. Like for most of my lifting, I was lifting like 6 days a week. Right now I lift 5, but that one day of
Alright.
rest makes all the difference.
Mm.
So like less accessories, stop wasting your time. Like 6 days a week is way too much. You don't need that. So yeah. That's my overall advice I give myself.
Yeah, I'm actually doing nationals next week, and I've been doing 6 days for like I don't know, half a year maybe. After nationals, I'm gonna try 5 days. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Like I could do 6 days, but like is one of them like a primer
have-
bench or something like
No,
that?
I have 2 bodybuilding only, 2 bench only, and then 2 SBDs.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll
So-
see.
So your advice would not be bring your own food to Worlds.
Oh my god. No. Okay. I am bringing my own food to Worlds. Honestly, I think I just didn't. As I said, I've traveled internationally, but not since I was young. It didn't wrap like in my brain that I could just like bring my meal prep and my carry on.
Mhm.
You guys probably know who Kyle Nowak is. Like he's a
Yeah.
66. He won.
Yeah.
Crazy play.
Yeah. He brought all of his own food, and I was just like, why didn't I do that? Like, why?
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna do for nationals this year because I want to control all my variables, and I know that when I eat, when I don't change anything, it benefits me. The fact, like, I was just not used to that change that took place a few days before my meet, but like, if I just keep it all consistent, then it'll be totally fine, and I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've never heard anyone talk about, like the difference between American food and European food with sodium and stuff like that. Because I could like, if you like mentioned it, I would be like, yeah, that actually makes sense. But like, no one has ever mentioned that, so that's actually a big deal for like people competing for the first time
It's
internationally.
a big thing, and I
Yeah.
know like it's not just me who had ended up weighing in a lot lighter, like in Romania, and I'm just not used to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Again,
see if
also with the,
Hmm?
I was gonna say like another big difference that resulted in losing weight is like the air conditioning. Like
Mhm.
in America, the air conditioning is so good. It's like
all right.
in my house, I'll never be sweating or anything. Like in the depths of summer, like I'm not sweating at all. But I remember like in Romania, like I'd be they had AC, but it was not as well functioning as it is in the United States. And so like
No.
I was sweating a lot at night, losing a lot of water. So
Yeah,
overall,
Romania is. That country is a bit like weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
And you
depends
can't really
more
drink their
country
tap
to
water, so-
country. Yeah, I mean Romania. Not trying to like be mean, but I think it's like a little bit less developed compared to other countries in Europe.
Yeah.
I would say.
The city
Malta
was
is going to be a
super
lot better
lovely.
for sure.
Yeah, Malta's
Yeah,
really.
the city was super lovely, but like I couldn't drink the tap water there. And so we
Oh
had to
my
go to the store and buy bottles,
Oh
but
my
we
god.
couldn't like
Microplastic.
there was a shortage on those water bottles too because everybody was going to this grocery store to get water. Like I didn't have much. I was definitely drinking less water than I would on a normal day. So
Damn, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you can't really bring your own water, but so
exactly. So
yeah, that's interesting. Let's see if Brandon Petrie and Perk, like they're more or less first time competing internationally. Let's see if they actually do that, because
yeah,
otherwise
I
they
definitely
might
learned
get
a
tagged.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely learned a lot. Like I think this year is going to be much better. For sure.
We hope so.
Looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
that.
Me too, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that was a really good podcast. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time to get on.
Thank you. It was
Exactly.
awesome. So fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you again after like Worlds, like in Malta or something like that. You're really
Yeah.
like I don't know how to say, like good at talking, like conversing.
Good at yapping.
Thank you. I like to talk.
Yeah. Do you have any like sponsors or anything, like your coach or anyone, anything at all you want to shout out?
Any friends?
I already shout out most of my friends. Love my
Yeah,
coach. Vin.Kilmore Barbell. Like 110%. Use code Eleni.
Hey.
Woo!
Go.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you for getting on.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Good
Have a
night.
good day. Or yeah, for us it's night, but for you have a good day.
Thank you. It was
All
so lovely to meet you guys.
Yeah, good luck
You
at
too.
Nets.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.